What's up, everybody? Logsmas here, and I'm about to crack into Wall of Martyrs. We want to check it out? Come with me. Let's go. Yo, what's up? We're back in the lab, and got the Wall of Martyrs right here. Let's crack it open. See what's up. All right. There is a lot of stuff in this box here, so let's start taking it out. All right, we got a big chunk of, looks like some like connector pieces, some middle sections, and some cool little windows here. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Well, it's pretty cool stuff. Next piece. Oh, this looks like the building. Got the roof here, the front, the pillbox, and some cool looking doors. Oh, that's really neat. Little ladder there for the side. Man, the detail is just insane. Even the walls have little texturing on them. Right here, you can see it. There's all kinds of little bullet holes and like skulls and helmets and dead guardsmen's bodies all along the front of this here. That is amazing. Even the diamond plate on the roof here has got just like, check it out, man. That is freaking cool. All right, here are the trenches. So this is the same piece that comes with either the Necrons or the Tau Kill team. Some pretty awesome trenches here. Really cool when you start putting the figures in them and see the scale and how it lines up. Another set of trench here. Again, the same pieces. And that looks like all the terrain. So now we've got looks like the board here. Oh, wow. Crack it open, get out of the plastic, unfold it on the table. This thing is pretty cool. There's craters, there are skeleton guardsmen. There is shit all over this. So much detail. Yeah, craters, guns, guardsmen, lots of skeletons. Just lots and lots of skelly boys. The other side is just some additional Sector Imperialis. And last but not least here, we have got, looks like the manual. It's a man fighting a bag. Who will win? Nobody knows. Don't put it on your head or face. The really cool thing that Games Workshop has done with Kill Team is include a really cool booklet. Gives you flavor. Gives you that good flavor. Just some sweet backstory. It's totally unnecessary for gameplay, but it's awesome. So we got a couple, looks like a setup example and some more flavor. This is a full book of flavor. That's it. That's really neat. Back into the bag. I gotta cut this open here. Bear with me. When a man can't find the scissors, the tool. So now we have got the environment table for the Wall of Martyrs. So you roll a d6 when you pick this map to play for a match of Kill Team, and you deal with the results. So let's look at them. Number 1, nothing but bodies, no additional rule. Number 2, inspiring sacrifice. All right, so what that means is they're like awe-inspired by all of these corpses around the terrain. They're part of the model, and you can subtract 1 from nerf tests, which is good. Number 3, if you roll a 3, you get Minefield. If a player chooses the plant trap strategy, they may booby trap an additional D3 pieces of terrain. If the mission has no scouting phase, there's no additional roll. Number 3 is Minefield. So if a player chooses the plant trap strategy, they may booby trap an additional D3 pieces of terrain. If this mission has no scouting phase, there's no additional roll. So that's pretty crazy, especially when it looks like all the terrain is less than 8 inches, except for the big trenches. So the rule with the scouting phase is you can booby trap D3 pieces of terrain that are under 8 inches tall or long. Like they just can't be 8 inches. If you roll hot, you can booby trap almost all the terrain. Crazy. 4 is Shattered Plane. You can subtract 1 from the roll made when any model advances or charges. So it's kind of tough terrain, harder to charge through. Number 5 is War Unending. Add 1 to any rolls made to determine whether or not the battle ends. Number 6, Prime Location. In a campaign game, the player who wins the mission gains 1 territory Otherwise, there's no additional rule. That's pretty nutty. I feel like this is the one rule that I've ever seen that actually grants a player something in a kill team campaign. Usually you're just losing all kinds of stuff. All right, looks like we got missions here. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 missions. There are 4 missions. All right, so the first mission is behind enemy lines. It's a narrative play mission. You have the attacker's deployment zone and you have a defender. And the goal for the attacker is to get all of their units to the escape route. Escape route? Route? Anyway, the attacker is pretty much just trying to sprint across this battlefield, get their soldiers to the escape route, and call it a day. So there's an attacker tactic. Use the tactic at the beginning of the first battle round. In this battle round, models cannot target models that are more than 12 inches away, or affect those models with psychic powers. So close range, or you're not shooting. That's cool. And a defender tactic is, use this tactic at the beginning of the first battle round. Your leader is not affected by the sentries rule. Sentries reads, in the first battle round, the defender's models cannot move or react. Wow. So the battle ends at round 5, or if none of the attacker's models are on the battlefield, essentially they've all escaped, or if all the defender's models are shaken or out of action. All right, the next mission is narrative play, and it is called Vanguard. Let's take a look at the deployment on the back. You have an attack and defender's deployment zone. The defender is going to set up 3 objective markers on the battlefield. The attacker is going to try and capture them. The defender is also going to trap 3 pieces of terrain. If the attacker gets within 1 inch, you guys roll off. If the defending player wins the roll off, the attacking player suffers D3 mortal wounds. The attacking player wins the roll off. His unit spots the trap and disarms it. The attackers have a tactic for 2 command points called Find Traps, and you can use this tactic at the beginning of your turn in the movement phase to add 1 to all rolls you make for trapped rule on the front of this card until the end of the phase. So you can add 1 to all rolls for deciding who triggers or disarms a trap. So the defenders have a tactic called To the Death. Use this tactic at the beginning of the battle round. Until the end of the battle round, the attacker cannot remove any objective markers while you have at least 1 model that is not shaken within 2 inches of that objective marker. Cool. And that's 2 command points. So, if someone's trying to cap an objective, if you got 2 command points, you can deny them with 1 model, even if they're swarming. So that's pretty neat. At the end of the battle, each player gains a victory point for how many points they control, how many traps are spotted or detonated, and 1 extra point for the opposing kill team being broken. The player at the end of round 5 with the most victory points wins the round. And that's pretty cool. The next mission is Seize the Bunker, and it's match play. Cool thing about this is it can be a 2-player or 4-player battlefield. The goal is to either occupy or destroy the Imperial Bunker, and it's situated in the middle of the battlefield. So, there's a rule in here that says if we can't have it, the Imperial Bunker can be targeted by an attack, and it has a toughness of 8, 12 wounds, and a 3+ save. If it's reduced to 0 wounds, it's destroyed. The battle wins immediately if the bunker is destroyed, and the player whose model takes the last wound from it wins the game immediately. Otherwise, at the end of battle round 4, the player with the highest strategic advantage rolls a d6, and on a 3+, the battle continues. It doesn't end there. At the end of round 5, the player with the greatest advantage again rolls a d6, and on a 4+, the game continues. The battle automatically ends at the end of round 6. If the end of the battle occurs and a player occupies the bunker, they win the game. Otherwise, the player who inflicts the last wound on the bunker and destroys it wins the game. The last and final mission. It is a match play mission called Under Bombardment. This one is the craziest. This is another mission that can be played with either 2 or 4 players. So there's a bit of flavor on here, stray shells. At the beginning of each battle round, randomly select a piece of terrain. Each model within 2 inches of that terrain suffers a mortal wound. Nuts! At the beginning of the battle, map each piece of terrain to a number value. You know, if you just stick a piece of terrain 1 to 6, roll a die. Did some of your guys just die? That sucks. Sorry. The very first mention of the battle ending is if there's only 1 unbroken kill team left. This can happen pretty quick if your models happen to catch a couple of those stray shells. Otherwise, at the end of round 4, the player with the highest strategic advantage rolls a d6, and on a 3+, the battle continues. The next round, you again roll a d6, and on a 4+, the battle continues. The battle automatically ends at the end of round 6. The additional victory conditions are each model on your kill team gets 1 victory point if they take out an enemy model. So, kill the enemy team, break them, and then collect the victory points. Otherwise, you automatically win if you're the only unbroken kill team on the map. If neither player's kill team is broken at the end of the match, then you go to a victory point score. A player scores a victory point each time one of their models takes out a model from the enemy kill team. At the end of the game, the player with the most victory points wins. Otherwise, it's just the whole your kill team's broken, you lose thing. And last, but definitely not least, we've got some tactic cards specific to Wall of Martyrs. So let's take a look. With such a level 2 comm specialist, call in some artillery on an enemy. You can pick a target that's visible, not within any particular range, roll a d6, and on a 6, that model and each model 2 inches from that model each receive a mortal wound. That's heavy. That costs 2 command points. Report position. So Wall of Martyrs, level 1 comms tactic. What this lets you do is pick one of your level 1 comm specialists, and before a roll is made to end the game, you can add or subtract 1 to that roll. Pretty cool if you're in a good spot and you're ready to just end it and take the victory, or also on the other hand, you're not doing so hot and you want the battle to go on for another round. Maybe you can turn it around. Minesweeper. Wall of Martyrs, level 1 scout tactic. You get to use this tactic in the beginning of your movement phase turn. You need to pick an unshaken scout, and the opposing player will have to tell you if there's any booby-trapped terrain within 6 inches of that model. That's pretty handy, especially with all the traps in the Wall of Martyrs kill team expansion. That costs 1 command point. Loot the battlefield. Wall of Martyrs, level 1 veteran tactic. At the end of the battle round, you get to pick a veteran specialist. If he's within 1 inch of a piece of terrain, he gets an experience point. That's pretty dope. You can only use this tactic once per mission. Duh, because you just rack up experience points all day. That costs 1 command point. Sturdy barrier. This is a basic Wall of Martyrs tactic. This is a free command point, but it does have a caveat. It doesn't trigger any actions that allow you to gain command points. This increases the penalty to hit over terrain in the fight phase an additional -1 to a total of -2. So if you're on the other side of a piece of terrain and you're fighting a model, you're going to want to pile in around and get into them, or you're going to suffer a -2 penalty anytime. You can activate this any fight phase for free, 0 command points. Relative safety. Wall of Martyrs tactic. You can subtract 2 to nerve tests for models that are occupying the Imperial bunker. And shows a little picture of the model. It's pretty cool. This costs 1 command point. Vacate the bunker! Wall of Martyrs tactic. So you can use this tactic at the end of the movement phase, and it allows any units occupying the bunker to be placed within 3 inches of the bunker model, but they cannot be within 1 inch of any enemy models. The model counts as moving normally and can still act in the additional phases, the shooting and the fight phase. You can use this tactic more than once in a phase. This costs 1 command point. Take the bunker. Wall of Martyrs tactic. This is very cool. So it's the opposite of vacate the bunker. If you have a model within 3 inches of the bunker that is unoccupied or occupied by friendly models, you can spend 1 command point to take that model off the battlefield. It is not out of action, and it occupies the bunker. To measure to or from the model, you use these slits in the front of the bunker model. Your model can still be targeted by enemy models, but it is obscured. Your model cannot move in any way, be charged, fight, or be a target in the fight phase. All models in the bunker count as being within 1 inch of each other. You can use this tactic more than once in a command phase. Fire in the hole. Here's the counter to all of the bunker shenanigans. In the shooting phase, you choose a model from your kill team to throw a grenade. Yeah, you know where this is going. Each successful hit roll on a model occupying the bunker also counts for every other model occupying the bunker. And if that wasn't enough, re-roll failed hit rolls on this attack until the end of the phase. What? For grenade shenanigans? This costs 1 command point. Go to ground. Wall of Martyrs tactic. Use this tactic when one of your models is targeted by an attack in the shooting phase. If your model is not shaken in on either an Imperial defense line or an Imperial emplacement, the targeted model, your defender, is considered to have shot. Place a shoot token next to them, if they don't already have one. But your opponent must subtract 2 to hit rolls made against that model until the end of the phase. You can use this tactic more than once per phase, but not more than once per model. This tactic costs 1 command point. Firing step, Wall of Martyrs tactic. Use this tactic when a model from your kill team is shooting from an Imperial emplacement model. You can reroll failed Overwatch hit rolls till the end of the phase with this model. This costs 1 command point. Last but not least, Inspiring Vantage, level 1 leader, Wall of Martyrs tactic. Use this tactic at the end of the command phase if your leader is standing on top of the Imperial bunker terrain model in this kit and is not shaken. Till the end of the phase, you can reroll failed nerve tests. So your leader's just up there. Come on, men! You can do this! Fight! And that costs 1 command point. And that's it. That's all the components in the box. Is this worth it? I'd say so. The terrain is awesome. It looks amazing. I can't wait to get it off the sprues and set it up on the table. Get some paint, some snow flock on it, and put some models on it. I'd recommend it 100% to add to your kill team arsenal. Do you have Wall of Martyrs? What are you planning to paint it like? What does your kill team look like? Would love to start a discussion about your strats and your terrain and your battles in the comments below. If you liked the video, you know the drill. The button's down below, the bottom, you know, the thumbs up one preferably. Maybe subscribe if you'd like to see some more content. And let me know down in the description what you liked or didn't like about the video. And that's it for What's in the Box? Wall of Martyrs Battlefield expansion from Games Workshop. Catch you guys next time. See you later.